event is going on now at Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. We've got to move remaining 2016 inventory, so we're selling it below invoice. Plus, up to $10,000 off 2017 Expeditions and 0% financing. Credit problems are no problem at Mike Birch. Our finance department is ready to put you in a new car. We've got a huge selection of pre-owned inventory with select vehicles qualifying for our lifetime powertrain warranty. Come see him at Mike Birch Ford or 24/7 at MikeBirchFordBlackshear.com.
The winter clearance event has started at Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. Huge savings and top dollar for your trade. We're overstocked with 2016 inventory and selling below invoice. Plus $10,000 off 2017 Expeditions and 0% financing. Plus our free lifetime powertrain warranty on all new vehicles and our exclusive low price guarantee on tires. Shop the search. Call Mike Birch 912-449-4446 or MikeBirchFordBlackshear.com. 0% financing with approved credit. See dealer for details.
At Broadhurst Landfill, keeping our communities safe is the most important thing we do. Our local team of environmental managers, engineers, and scientists ensure that the long-term management of the landfill is safe for our workers, customers, and the environment. To learn more, visit our website at www.broadhurstlandfill.com, or you can go to the website, click Visit Us, and sign up for a tour to see firsthand how we operate. We hope to see you soon.
Jessup Premium Storage, 1455 South 1st Street is Jessup's best place to store your valuables. Whether it's furniture between moves or just a place for the overload, call Jessup Premium Storage at 530-8003. That's 530-8003. Jessup Premium Storage units are indoors, climate controlled, and they have 24-hour surveillance and on-site management. You have 24-hour, 7-day-a-week access to your unit. Sizes range from 5x5 to 10x25. They also have outside covered and uncovered spaces available for vehicles, boats, trailers, and RVs. Jessup Premium Storage on the Waycross Highway in Jessup.
Well, good morning to you. You're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jessup. It is a Monday morning. I know I don't have to tell you that. You're probably feeling it already. Monday morning, 6 minutes after 8 o'clock, 27th day of February, just one more day in the month. So if you got something to do this month, you better get busy doing it because this is not a leap year. So just one more day of February, then we move into March and March Madness and getting closer to the Masters and Braves baseball down there in the Grapefruit League, which we had a game on Saturday on our AM station. The Grapefruit League games, most of those will be on AM 1370 The Buzz, WLOP, Fox Sports Radio. And then the regular season games will begin in their brand new park starting in April right here on 105.5 FM. The Braves' oldest affiliate, bringing you Braves baseball since 1971. Well, look at the weather forecast. Increasing clouds today. So as the day goes along, more clouds will move in. High today near 79 degrees. 10% chance of showers today, 30% tonight. It's going to get up to about 85 tomorrow on the last day of February. That's just not right. All right, the Ottawa River level is at 8.7 feet and just barely falling. Currently here in southeast Georgia, we have 45 degrees. It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear, by Broadhurst Environmental, and by Jessup Premium Storage. And good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
Boy, you had one busy weekend, didn't you?
Busy weekend. It's been busy.
Now, did you take the DEET or Skin So Soft or whatever over there to keep the sand gnats off of you?
No.
Why?
Because it doesn't do any good.
Yes, it does.
They got these things that burn things or whatever. Like I said, in Brunswick High School, it wasn't bad. I was in the press box. So I didn't have to worry about the sand gnats there. But at Edo Miller, I was up up to the top, and the wind was blowing.
Yeah, I've been up there with you before. Yeah.
So
wind keeps it off of you.
I really didn't have to deal with the sand gnats too bad. The fans did. The kids from Mountain View did. They were freaking out. Like,
what are these things?
What is this?
We imported these to keep the Yankees away.
It was good baseball down there at the beach. Like I said, two good games. Beat Mountain View 4-2. Lost a tough one to Savannah Christian. Let it slip away at the end, but some good baseball. So that's what you want. Good competition, and that's what exactly we got. So it was a good event.
Okay.
Jonathan wins his breakfast. They didn't even mention that. The second game didn't start on time because the first game went 14 innings before he got there. When he got there, he had to watch another whole game before he even got to play at Brunswick High School. It wasn't like we got there in plenty of time. I mean, we were set, ready to go. And
ready to go.
Walked up there, and there's a team out there. I thought that's who we were playing. I said, no, your game's after this game.
Say what?
That wasn't good. good.
So how's the baseball field at the New Brunswick High School?
Very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice facility. I said nice high school.
On par with ours here?
First time I've seen a new school, yeah.
Is it on par with ours here?
No.
No?
No, nothing compares to our school.
I mean, not too many baseball fields out there in high school compared with Howard Warren Field.
It's just a beautiful place.
The Bow. When's the next game at the Bow?
Friday. Effingham County comes to town. We got Thursday on the road at Brantley, and then Friday at home against Effingham County, 6 p.m. But
so they get 4 days off finally after so many games.
They get a little break.
You gotta rest up those arms a little bit.
Work on some
things.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure the coach is going to be out there working on some things, isn't he?
Right. I mean, like I said, it's work in progress. Like I said, it's a long season, but good competition is what they want. 4 times in a heck of a day Saturday. 2 home runs. Got the winning game 1. Had a big RBI single in game 2, which looked like it was going to be the winning RBI, but for some reason we just couldn't find the strike zone in that 7th inning. So just tough way to lose that game against Savannah Christian. But that pitch from Savannah Christian was excellent. The Brockman kid was fun to watch. I mean, he struck out 12, had a nasty breaking pitch, very talented pitcher. So once he got the lead, he closed it out in the 7th. But it was what it was intended to be. Good baseball, good competition, 2 good games. Would have liked to have got them both. Had a chance to get them both, but got 1 out of 2. So a lot more baseball to be played. Region schedule still about a month away.
I know, still a month away for region.
20 days away. I think March 20th is the first region game. So,
what did that baseball manager say to his players in the Bull Durham Bulls? What did he say about baseball?
He said it's a simple game. You see the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball.
It's a simple game.
It's a simple game.
I like what Kevin Costner did on that. He says, I try to be nice. The manager saying, I try to be nice to the guys. I try to be their friend. I try to help them out. And Kevin Costner says, these are kids. They need to be scared. So he goes running in there with a whole bunch of bats and throws them across the shower floor. Scares everybody half to death.
That's good baseball.
Okay. And I'm glad that we were able to get those games in for everybody on Saturday, because not everybody can make it to those out-of-town games. And we do thank our sponsors so much for helping us bring Wayne County baseball to you right here on 105.5 FM. You can also listen to the games around the world on our website at bigdogcountry.com, and also on your smartphone. If you don't have our free app, just go to your favorite app store, type in Big Dog WIFO, and just follow the instructions. You'll get that free app. And I bet you can hear the Butch and Bob Show on all 3, 105.5, Big Dog Country, and on our free app. There's a lot of mornings that I'm busy and I'm not standing next to the radio that I've got my app on my phone, listening to the local news and everything before I come in the mornings, and keeps it right there so I can hear what's going on. Hear what's going on here in Wayne and surrounding counties. A lot of interesting interviews you had with folks in the different meetings that went on last week. The folks that talked about Wayne County, the mayors, the county commissioner, Jay Brinson, talked about a lot of good things going on in Wayne County.
Yeah, it was a good event. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Most of the mayors of Jessup, David O'Keefe, Mayor Brian Nipper-Vodeman, and Mayor Milton Boyd Scriven got to speak. Jay Prince got to speak, and Commission Chairman Mike Roberts spoke. So got more from that this week here on the local news, but a lot of good topics discussed. Talked about the overpass. Should be done about November. Just a lot of good things going on in the school system and the cities of Jessup. City Mayor Keith talked about how the new lighting system's already in place in the city of Jessup. They replaced all the lights. So,
oh, they did?
Yeah,
they put in LED lights?
LED lights all downtown.
Save a little money?
Save a little money, plus it's better lit. So just a lot of good things going on. Talked about the streetscape project. So just a lot of good information was given at that early membership lunch. Plus, it was a great crowd. I mean, every table was full. So
that's fantastic.
It was good, man.
Either a community is growing or it's dying, one of the two. You just don't stay where you are. And Wayne County, Jessup and Scriven and Odom, we're growing.
At the town hall meeting, Buddy Carter was interested. Like I said, at least it was civil.
It was civil.
Unlike the one in Savannah.
In Savannah, they gave them a hard time?
Yeah, they had to close it down.
Why?
Because the protesters and
the protesters. Yeah. How can we find out where we can sign up to be one of those paid protesters?
Yeah.
I mean, get paid to protest.
Yeah, plus they bus you to the event.
They bus you there, hand out snacks, slip you a little money. Just go in there and act nuts. Act like you're mad about something. Just get mad. Just go in there and say you're mad. Yeah, and of course that's what the press is going to concentrate on. So it's a shame that it has to be that way. That you cannot have something civil. That you cannot talk to your congressman. You may not agree with what he says. You might not agree with his vote. But at least you can have a civil conversation about it, and not get up there and yell and scream and make threats and act mad and act like a like a kindergartner who's got a sucker taken away from him.
Do want to clear up the situation with the football coach situation. Already getting calls that we've already got a coach in place. Somebody's already been hired. Look, the search committee hasn't even been formed yet. So
no coach hired yet.
We need to back off on all that. So I'm getting text messages and calls. And
welcome to social media. Welcome to social media.
I said Jay Brinson and the board are going to put together the search committee. The job has been posted as open. They are taking applications at this time, but no coach has been hired at this time. Anybody who's telling everybody that just needs to stop.
Remember, folks, do not always believe what is on social media, because there is no filter on there. People will say anything and everything just to try to get something started or whatever.
And told us the search committee's being formed together. They should have it done probably today. Once the search committee's in place, they'll probably announce it tomorrow night at the board who's on that committee. Okay. And then they go from there. But no coach has been hired.
Are you going to be on that committee?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not going to be on that committee. They don't want Bob Morgan on there, huh? All right. Well, they're missing out. They should have Bob Morgan on there.
No, I don't want to be on it.
You don't want to be on it. I don't blame you, because you got to report on it. It's hard to be on certain things you got to report on.
I don't need to be on the committee. But like I said, I do want to clear up. Like I said, the board met on that Valentine's Day. Coach Chastain did have a unanimous vote to be the coach and the AD for this coming year.
Unanimous vote?
There were some.
Everybody voted for it.
There were some disgruntled board members with some things that were going on. They instructed the superintendent to talk to Coach Chastain, advise him on some things he needs to improve on to be better in his position. Apparently, he made a decision to just resign after that. And I'm telling you, the resignation caught everybody off guard. No one was expecting the resignation. But it is what it is. He decided to quit and move on. So, again, we wish everybody the best of luck in this process. But that's where we're at. So the board and the superintendent are putting together a search committee. The job's been posted. And, again, talking to Superintendent Brinson, his goal was to have somebody in here to run spring football practice. So it will run quickly. Talking to Tommy Palmer, who called to extend his best wishes to Wayne County, because he loves the Booster Club, loves Wayne County. Right. He says he's getting calls from a lot of coaches interested in getting that job, want to know who they need to get in touch with. So I gave him that information. So it's not like there's a lack of interest to people.
Well, there's going to be a lot of interest there. So. Yeah, Tommy Palmer called the radio station and said, "Hi, this is Tommy Palmer. I need to speak to Bob." I said, "Bob's not in right now." "Well, can you give me a cell phone number?" I said, "Tommy, this is Butch. I know what you're calling about. It's about the coach." He said, "You got that right, Butch." I said, "Well, here's a cell phone number."
But I had a good conversation with him. Like I said, it's still sad that the senior class is going to have 3 coaches in 3 years. I mean, nobody expects that. It's just been a bad situation. But again, have full faith in the process, and I'm sure we'll get a good coach in here and lead the program and get moving forward. But it is what it is.
Well, you just answered this person's question. Remember, folks, if you have any questions or comments for us here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show on WIFO-FM in Jessup, you can always text us. You got to text us, but you can't answer the phone because we're talking on the radio. You can text us at 912-427-3711. That is our main studio and business line, and it is text-enabled, 912-427-3711. Somebody text in, and then you started on this even before I even read this text. What's going on with the football coach? Why did he resign? Was it politics?
No. I said, that's what I want to say, too. Everybody's got an opinion. Mm-hmm. Everybody's allowed to express their opinion.
Right.
But this notion that a few people swayed the board to make this decision is totally bogus. I mean,
I know they voted 5-0 to keep him and extend his contract.
Went behind closed doors. like I said, they never talk about what behind closed doors, but it's pretty much, it was a long executive session and talking to people in the know. There were some board members who were dissatisfied with some things that were going on in the program, and they voiced those to the superintendent behind closed doors.
It wasn't coaching techniques. It couldn't be that, could it? It was more.
It was just some things that were
just
going
on. Okay. And they just expressed concern.
They were dissatisfied with some things that had been happening with the program. But the superintendent had everybody on board that we're not looking for another coach with the season, right? With spring. I'm telling you, the resignation came as a surprise to the superintendent.
So after the executive board meeting, they come back out.
Executive session, like I said.
Executive session was first, right?
Basically, the conversation behind closed doors was, look, there's some problems here. We want you to talk to him. We want you to do A, B, C, and D if he's going to be successful. It says in the press release there were some expectations that they expressed to the that's what they wanted to do. Basically, like I said, they wanted the superintendent to coach him up and say, look, there's some people upset with some things going on. If you're going to be successful, you need to do A, B, C, and D, I guess.
Coach him up a little
bit. And apparently he went home and made the decision to quit rather than do A, B, C, and D. So
but they had the executive session first and then came out and voted 5-0 to hire him, to keep, not hire him, but to keep him on as coach and extend his contract.
Right, that was the...
So they were all behind him. They voted all for him, extended his contract.
Right. I mean, like I said, it's a fact. The board members had some issues and apparently voiced those issues to the superintendent in executive session and directed the superintendent to meet with the coach. And the press release states he was offered the opportunity to continue in his current position with expectations for the upcoming year that would have hopefully led him to becoming more successful in season in his position. Like I said, basically the board asking the superintendent, let's say coach him up, direct him to do some things, hopefully to make him and the program more successful. Apparently that's not going to happen because Coach Chastain days later handed in the resignation.
Well, if you're going to be coached up by somebody, Jay Brinson's a good person to coach you up because he was very successful in baseball. And, of course, a lot of those techniques that you learn to have very successful baseball teams spill over into any other sport.
As I explained, everybody's got a boss. When your boss tells you to do something, you pretty much do it, right?
Right.
I mean, anybody out there in your line of work, if you have a boss come to you and say, you need to do this, it's pretty good that you're going to do it. If not, you need to go.
And that's what he did.
That's what he
did not want to do.
He did not want to do what he was asked to do.
What he was asked to do. Even though they voted 5-0 to extend his contract. Right. Apparently he made no major objections to those concerns in the executive session. Or
he wasn't in executive session.
Oh, that's right. He couldn't have been in there.
The board was in executive session. The board told the superintendent, there's some issues. We want you to coach him up.
Oh, I see what it is.
There was some board members who would like to pull the plug, but as I said, I tell people all this time, Jay Brinson told me when he first got superintendent, in executive session, they can yell, scream, holler, they can throw chairs at each other. But when they come out in public, it's a unified front. And that's what it was. The board was 5-0. We're moving forward. Chastain is offered a contract. He's going to be the head football coach and athletic director, but we want you to guide him and instruct him on some things.
So they were telling Jay that?
Yes.
Okay.
So Jay met with him, and like I said, gave him those instructions, and apparently he didn't want to follow those instructions. That's my interpretation of what took place. And talking to my superintendent, who I've known for 35 years, on that Wednesday and that Thursday, he was surprised that we're in the situation we're in. Did not expect to be in the situation we're in. He expected to be moving forward and Coach Chastain being the football coach and athletic director. But apparently Coach Chastain didn't want to do what was he instructed to do and asked to do. Okay. And he just decided to quit.
So he quit, even though his contract was extended and they voted 5-0 unanimously to extend his contract.
And that's
he
his
did
option.
not want to do what Jay said. These are the things that we want you to work on.
That's my interpretation.
Okay. Here's a question. Was it the A, B, C, and D he was asked to do?
Well, one of the things I think was asked to do is, how about living in Wayne County?
Okay.
He and his wife told people they were going to live in Brunswick and rotate back and forth. Well, the superintendent wanted the coach and his wife to be, if you're going to be Wayne County's athletic director, it's a good part to be living in Wayne County. I think that was a big issue, just from what I've heard.
What you've heard, okay.
So that was a big issue.
But that's not coaching up, though. That's just an opinion of where we like to live.
No, that's the superintendent guiding you at that.
That's your superintendent guiding you. Saying you need to live in your community if you want your community support.
Coaching that athletic church would be a good thing to do. Be living in Wayne County.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Oh, remember we had an executive director of the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce for a couple of years that lived on St. Simon's and drove back and forth each day. You know, I mean, here you are, you're running the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce.
That wasn't good either, was it?
It didn't work out. No, it didn't work out.
Right.
No.
That's not a good remedy for success.
No. Okay. All right. And there's probably a few other things there in Chastain. It's his right to make the decision of what he wants to do, and we wish him and his family the best as he moves on with his coaching career.
Here's a suggestion. We're Wayne County and Camden County playing baseball. You're the athletic director and head football coach of Wayne County. You don't come with Camden County gear on and sit in the Camden County dugout and be happy that Camden County won the game. That to me is a fireable offense personally, but that's just me.
That's just you.
That's what took place this week. So,
all right. Well, let's move on to other things. WIFO, Big Dog Country Radio. Big Dog Country Radio hosted John Conley in concert in the auditorium at Coastal Pines Technical College on Saturday night. And somebody just texted in here, thank you for the concert Saturday night. Some of us would like more of this in Wayne County and less about sports. Okay, let's see what we can do, because I had several people afterwards say, we'd like to see you bring in Ronnie Millsap, or we'd like to see you bring in so-and-so and so-and-so. And I said, well, we'll see what we can do. But John Conley put on, and everybody who left there had huge smiles on their face. They loved the concert. You can tell John Conley has been doing concerts for over 40 years because he knew how to work a crowd. He knew how to blend the songs. He knew how to joke around with the crowd and get them involved. I mean, you're talking about a country music artist that's had 8 #1 hits, over 30 charted songs, 11 studio albums, new albums coming out right now. He's starting to put out some gospel music also. He's very active in his church, in his community. He lives near Nashville. But I had a chance to talk to John before the concert, and then a little bit afterwards. It was just a great concert. I mean, if you missed it, folks, you missed one of the best concerts that you probably have ever gone to, because he is a country music legend. He was heading to Augusta after they packed up the buses and left about 9:30 on Saturday night. But I was just amazed. I sat down and started listening. I remembered most of all his songs from the big songs he had from the late 70s and 80s. And then he blended in some other songs, especially gospel music. And he ended his concert with Amazing Grace. And most of his band members have been with him for a long time. The drummer is new. He's only been with him for like 3 or 4 years, but the rest of them have been with him for a long time. And, you know, when you've got a band that's been playing together for a long time, they know how to work together and make it sound good. But folks, if you'd gone to the John Conley concert on Saturday night, you'd have said that was well worth the $25 or $35 you'd have spent. It was fantastic. Somebody just said, bring in Hank Williams Jr. Our budget is not big enough for that, folks. Besides, Junior's really not doing concerts anymore. I interviewed him several years ago. He was promoting his new single, had something to do, a patriotic single that he had put out. And, they line up radio stations to do interviews on certain days. And I said, yeah, I'd love to interview Hank Jr. And so Hank Jr. called in. I interviewed him on live right here on WIFO and had a great interview with him. And he talked, and we had a good time talking. And I ended our interview with Hank Jr. saying, well, Hank, I said, Junior, life is good, isn't it? He said, yeah, Butch, life is good. But they say it's hard getting him off his ranch.
I just want Monday Night Football to hire him back to the opening.
Yeah, me too, but that's not going to happen. You know, we got way too PC of a society these days for you to speak anything against anything that's going to offend anybody in any type of way.
Just isn't the same.
It is not the same. It is not the same. And then someone said, how about Travis Tritt? Well, that would be a good one right there. Georgia boy right there from the Atlanta area. You know, we'd love to be able to put on concerts here in town, but it's very expensive to do that. We got contacted by the promotion company for John Conley. They were coming through this area, and sometimes when they do that, they will stop off in small communities and do concerts, just like Sarah Evans did. Sarah Evans did that about 10 years ago over on Jekyll. She was warming up for a tour, and she put on an event. There were only about 100 people in that, and I was able to go and thoroughly enjoyed it. To be there with Sarah Evans, you know, just sitting there where you can almost reach out and touch the band, you know. And sometimes these big country music stars will do that. They will play the small markets when they're traveling through somewhere. And, you know, if we get lucky one day, maybe we'll get a call from one of these publicity companies, the promotion companies that handle there for these big stars, and say, hey, we're coming through your area. Do you have a place there in town that you could host us? And, you know, I really thought that the concert was going to be in the Polytech Center, but it was in the auditorium, which worked out perfect. That was the perfect venue for the John Conley concert. You know, him down on the stage and, you know, the seats going down to him. I cannot remember when I've enjoyed a concert as much as I did the John Conley concert on Saturday night. Well, Bob, we're about out of time here. Any other words of wisdom or anything else in your mind this morning before we end the show?
Just interested. Oscars last night. I mean,
yeah. Now, I read this morning that they did not misread that. They were handed the wrong envelope. They were handed the wrong envelope.
How do you hand them the wrong envelope?
I don't know. It was funny. Jimmy Kimmel saying he blamed it on Steve Harvey. You know how Steve did the wrong one on the Miss Universe contest, beauty pageant. But they handed them the wrong envelope, and that's the reason why one of the executives had to step forward real quick, like and say, "No, it was Moonlight." I mean, they showed the envelope that Warren Beatty was reading.
All I know is watching it live was kind of wild because people from Lolo, they were up there celebrating. They were like, "Are you serious?"
Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl championship T-shirts.
Yeah.
Ship them away.
Someone just texted in. Gene Watson goes to Hawkinsville frequently. They bring him in. Yeah, I understand that Hawkinsville, smaller community in Wayne County, puts on a lot of country music concerts with the legends of country music, and maybe we can start doing that. All right, Bob, have a good day. All right, you've been listening to